Alright guys, so in this video we are probably going to be talking about should you guys go for the super limited Sazabi and then super limited Char Aznable. I think what makes this better is super. It's not that the unit itself is super, it's just the fact they dropped this little secret unit in here that a lot of people are losing their mind trying to pull. Me personally, I am as well. I'm pretty give to it, so because I for the love of God, could not pull this unit. Like, why? I pulled so many off pity, but we were not able to land this one. But that's okay. We'll eventually get him. Even right now, as far as trying to do like the the potential unleash, trying to do all of the transcendent skill, it's gonna take a hot minute anyway. So I can wait. All right, so we have that. I'm not gonna go into like a whole spiel about this unit in this video. We'll probably talk about this in like a separate one. All right. So Sazabi, how good is this? So by looking at the own exchange point, y'all already know I went back in. I have fully maxed out my Sazabi. I have ran many testings in terms of, let's say, just pure damage wise. I want to see what this unit is capable of. Running it in arena, running this in, let's say, Phantom Base. I want to see everything. All right, I want to see what this unit is capable of doing, and I was pretty. I want to say I wasn't disappointed, but I was just kind of like shocked that I didn't get the result that I was kind of looking for, if that kind of makes sense. So as far as all the damage testing wise, like how it performs in different aspects of the game, you guys will be seeing that video tomorrow, because I want to test out first before I make this so you guys summon, so I am fully aware of what I'm getting into and what you guys are getting into. So Sazabi, let's kind of take a look at this unit. It's a blue generic unit, so I think I probably said that before. A generic unit is probably the most abused unit in game. It's because there's so many of them. So even if we don't get this one later down the line, there's going to be a better blue generic unit. So if you guys are burnt out from summoning for new Gundam, you guys don't have any more diamonds, it is completely fine to skip this one. I'm not gonna say this unit is a deal breaker. It's not going to immensely make your team 10 times stronger. It's not really like that. But let's kind of take a look. So the base stat is kind of as follow. They are pretty much the same throughout for any of the generic units. So we're not seeing a huge margin of increases as far as the stats itself. So we can kind of bypass that real quick. But the EX skills is pretty strong. You're dealing that to the highest HP enemy, 6 and 93%. That's pretty good. And then you're also going to be increasing beam damage taken by 60%. So that's going to be applying that to the enemy. So the wording itself, I get it. It's kind of confusing. So it kind of seems like you're taking 60% more damage, but in reality, it's not. Once you pop EXQ, if you have it on, always on, it will kind of apply that to the enemy. So that's going to be something you see. On top of that, you're also going to be allowing your blue element ally gonna gain some damage increase up to 26% as well. So that's pretty powerful. That's definitely not bad. We'll come back around to the transcendent skill. I want to talk about the basic skill first, like the skill 1 and skill 2, then we come back around to make a full circle out of it. But right away, when the battle begins, you are getting increased beam damage by 22%. So that's pretty good. Having things that are on demand is definitely pretty pleasing for sure. And like new Gundam is definitely meant for a latter half of the battle, where it's after 30 seconds. This one is on demand. I like that. You don't really have to worry about the usability of this unit. You can kind of place it anywhere you want in any circumstances. Long term, short term battle, you name it, it's gonna perform really nice. Skill 2, I love Thanos, so that's the additional weapon that we have right there. When battle begins, evasion increased by 10%. That's pretty good. That's pretty much lowballing it. I feel like they should have gave this like a 15 or even 20%. I think that should be a lot more better, because on evasion for 10 seconds, increase beam damage by 17% up to 5 times. So that sounds pretty powerful, right? Getting evasion, that's yada yada yada. But through my testing, running it a lot, if you exclude the transcendent skill, and if you only have Char, you're not really getting a high percent of evasion rate. Granted, you will obviously equip the module, so you are getting at least 28% out of both of them. If you are luckily able to roll the sub skill, having evasion as well for 7%. So let's say you do have that, you're up to 38%, and then plus the pilot's Char also offering 24%. So you are kind of cooking, right? But I want to say the pilot one calculates a little bit differently. I don't think it just immediately implies to your unit, because during my time using Sabi, I did not see a high efficient evasion. So I could be wrong, definitely, but I was just not seeing that. So there were definitely a lot of times that right out of the gate when the battle starts, I was immediately taking huge hits. So I was not happy about that, because this unit is all about evasion, and evasion. So unfortunately, I was not really getting that. So that's pretty sad. Now taking a look at the kind of like the weapon spread now. I think the huge problem from this unit is they put the beam saber as the primary weapon that has the highest damage, like the highest power out of it. So that's where they kind of messed up this unit, because at any given time I really did not see Sazabi using beam saber. You guys can let me know on that as well, because I swear I do not see a single beam saber hit. So how are you gonna tell me you're gonna put that as, you're gonna flip that around? Like, why? You know, it just like makes sense. So I was like, dude, whoa, what is this unit? Like, what's going on? So had they flopped these two power scaling differently, I feel like it could be better, right? I'm not guaranteed it's gonna perform a whole lot better, but man, at least it could do something else. But yeah, this is just realistically pretty sad, right? Because I did not see a single slash beam series at all. Nothing. So I was like, what is this? So this is pretty poorly designed, unfortunate, right? Coming back to the Transcendent skill, this is where it's kind of like, alright, and we got the rabbit in the hole, the Transcendent skill. Alright, so how this actually works, so until you get to Transcendent skill, the only thing you're getting is the accuracy, which I feel like the accuracy does not even mean anything at all. I run the testing, and given how fluctuate the damages for this unit specifically, because everything rely on the evasion to stack damage and whatnot, in the accuracy did nothing for me. Alright, I could not get an accurate reading, so you can kind of disregard the accuracy as something that's positive in a way. Even let's say accuracy allows you to hit, having a higher chances of actually hit the enemy. I did not even see my EXQ gauge increase, you know, let's say a tad more, because if you are able to land a hit, you obviously are able to increase the EXQ gauge, but I didn't really see that. So I'm just like, okay, sure, why not just have something that's not really too useful. We'll take that. So until you hit Transcendent skill level 3, that's when you start getting some third weapon being damaged. So I would say having that is actually pretty awesome. But at 30%, it's definitely low balling it. It's only at 70%. I feel like at max out, I start seeing an increase on that. So Transcendent skill 4, you're still having the first two effects getting buffed. I think at skill, like at T4, you're getting like a 30% to accuracy, and then for the damage, you're up to 40%. At max out, that's when you get the last two effects. When dealing damage for 20 seconds, you increase evasion for 2.3%, stacking up to 20 times. So that's gonna be a problem we'll talk about in just a little bit. And then on evasion, you are recovering 6% of EXQ gauge. So that's cool. That's definitely cool. But let's kind of talk about my issue with dealing damage. So Sazabi, for whatever reason, is a relatively slow attacker. I don't know why. The funnel does not deploy too often. I think it's like there's definitely like a lag behind every cycle through. So I don't know. You guys can definitely correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I have used it, and we were not even getting a lot of hits going on. So this portion of it, good thing is at 20% and not 10 seconds. At least at 20 seconds, we can stack it good good enough of time with the funnels, because funnel at least does allow us to hit 3 times, 3 hits 6 times, so that's not bad. We'll take that. So that should be plentiful enough to stack that up. But on evasion, right? On evasion, that's you have that. But depending on what kind of stages you're running at, let's say it's a single target enemy. I find it evasion is relatively hard. So it's good. It's the strongest unit. The strongest feature of this unit is actually not the, I guess the weakest, or actually slightly the most flawed, because there's just not a whole lot of situation where I was dodging, and then let's say come full circle when we have like a full 6 on 6, right? I was expecting Sazabi to like dodge left and right, evade left and right, because we have pretty high percentage, alright. I was even using module to give it an extra boosting of it, alright. Why not? But we're gonna draw back to that line right there. We're not getting any hits, so we're not really stacking up the evasion. So, yeah, I hate to say it, but I think Sazabi is probably not of a good unit, to be quite honest with you guys. I hate to say it, but it's not. I was really expecting this to be a giga DPS, but I was wrong. All right, because I never really personally use it myself on JP server. It's just more like a reading in between the line to see, all right, how good can this be? But it's not. I'm kind of bumped out on that. But Char, let's kind of talk about Char as well. Same thing, I think for Char, he does a lot of good things, but on skill 1, the huge flaw is on evasion. I don't know how often can we even get evasion, given the fact that, you know, he's not really evading. So it is nice you're getting a 99% range sense increase, but stacking it to 5 times. But how often? All right, how often can we pull it off? Not much. All right, I can say that right now. But the other effects are pretty nice. They're actually pretty good. 46%, so that's what, like a good 92%. That's not bad. That's pretty good for sure. And evasion increased by 12% per, so cycle frame, new Xeon affiliated up to 24%, so that's pretty good. I think it's just my expertise of this game is like, oh, does these directly apply into the actual unit? I mean, I want to assume it does, right? I want to say that because there isn't necessarily a evasion on here, but reaction count as guarding and evading. So assuming this is to increase that, that's why we just aren't getting a lot of evasion, because that's not high enough in a way. I guess. But yeah, other than that, I feel like if you aren't going for the Sazabi, there just isn't really a point of even going for this unit, right? I just don't feel like it is. I think a lot of these probably will not even be effective to a lot of unit. Like rival unit is probably not the most common category. New what is it, the new Xeon affiliated, I think that's a pretty strong tag for sure. And then red mostly, it definitely varies, but everything is centered around range for first and 2 skills. So the question kind of begs, like, why did they have to do this? I don't get it. I know it's a generic unit, so were they trying to do some balancing here and there? So that doesn't make sense. Alright, that just kind of kills the unit right there and then. Kind of unfortunate, but other than that, I feel like I would not suggest you guys could go ham onto this render. Please do not. I just feel like this is such a poor design in a absolute way. Maybe I'm going overboard on rating this unit, but I think skipping this unit would not hurt you guys at any sense. I'd rather you guys wait for some of the later releases, Sazabis, the one that is the purple one, and there's also the yellow one. I think those are better options because they guarantee hits. All right, they guarantee hit the enemy for 18 seconds when the battle start. So I think that is a very nice thing to have. But for those Sazabis, I don't know how much of their attack rating they are, like how often, like how fast can it hit. This one is slow for me. Let me know your thoughts on this one. Other than that, I think definitely do not recommend it. I do not recommend this one. I'll catch you guys all on the next one.